Hey YouTube, this is JUSTICEMAHN from Team Variable, here to wish in the new year to all you guys, because as of September 1st, we are going to have a new ban list, so new decks, along with all the other members of the team, and that means that we have new videos, especially for me, thanks to a mirror, some tape, and a couple of rulers. Now you don't have to see my face while I do this. Alright, first deck I'm going to do is the Infernity, starting with the Infernity monsters. Now let me say first, my Infernities are not Infernity OTK, but it is a deck basically for swarming and beatdown. It's not stuff that you see in some of the regionals and championships. So, I have 3 Guardians. It's not necessarily a card of choice for a lot of Infernity duelists, again because of OTK. Good because it, can't be destroyed. Of course, you should all know that Infernity cannot activate their effects without there being any cards, without there being no cards in your hand. Guardian's effect stops it from being destroyed by card effects and battle while it's face up. Now, that's not necessarily great at 1,200, 1,700, because that's not the greatest attack and defense. But if you were to use it for 100 eyes, which I'll get to later, it can be very helpful for getting straight through to your opponent. Then I have Infernity Mirage. I was lucky to get this. Great card, because it gets you 2 Infernities for the price of 1. Unfortunately, it can't be special summoned from the graveyard. Next card is Infernity Destroyer. Again, not necessarily the card of choice for OTK players, but I think Destroyer is a good card just as a emergency level 6. You need something quick as a beat stick. It deals 1,600 when it destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard. So that can be good, and again, it's another card that can go well with 100 eyes. Another thing I'm lucky to have is 3 beetles. I think most people are familiar with the beetle strategy of summon 1 beetle, tribute it out, special summon 2 beetles, then you sync with a level 4 for a level 6, then the level 6 with a level 2, you get a level 8, or Mistworm trying to go with a level 9 with a level 3 and a level 4, plus a beetle. 3 archfiend. I got these back when World Championship 2009 was out. These are not the Gold Series 3 ones, but we do have those. Archfiend, of course, is the Stratos of this deck because it can first of all, when you draw it and you have no cards in your hand, you special summon it, and when you special summon it, when you have no cards in your hand, you can bring another Infernity card to your hand, which is good for, you can get you can search for other Infernity monsters, but the greatest loophole about that is you can also get Infernity spells or traps, which Stratos doesn't do, and that's a little perk in the deck. 3 Infernity Necromancers, great for special summoning cards out. When it switched straight to defense mode when you summon it, and unfortunately it can't special summon another Necromancer, but it's still great. It still basically does the same job as Mirage. 3 Avenger. Now I've been noticing at a lot of the championships, people are only running 1, but personally, I'm liking 3 just because I send a lot of cards to the graveyard. My deck tends to run out as the duel goes on, so it kind of helps. Plus, 1 monster getting destroyed, I can special summon all of them at the same time. So that can help with summoning quickly or just making a shield. A lot of people have Dark Grepher, but I've put Dark Crusader in my deck just because it can clear my entire hand of all my dark monsters. Versus versus Grepher, who can only special summon, who can only send 1 from the hand and 1 from the deck. I could probably add Grepher in addition, but Dark Crusader, again, I think it's a great card. Also, not a big tournament key player, I guess. It's not really involved that often. Armageddon Knight, quick, summons sends a dark monster from the deck to the graveyard. So that's Avenger to get its special. And when Armageddon Knight gets destroyed, you can special summon a Avenger that becomes a level 4. or you can send an archfiend to the graveyard to be special summoned by a necromancer or anything else. And then Snipe Hunter. Thanks to the new ban list, Snipe Hunter is up to 2. But right now I'm going to see how 1's still doing. I might even take it out. But again, just like Crusader, it works well with clearing my hand, and it can get around Stardust's effect, because it does not count as a definite fact that it will destroy. Kind of like gamble destruction. Next card. Next set is the spells. 1 for 1, right off the bat. Biggest use, I guess, is for Mirage. Send any monster from the hand to the graveyard, which is great. And you special summon out Mirage, tribute Mirage, and you get to special summon probably the monster you just sent and another Infernity card. But you have to special summon 2 with Mirage. Wave Motion Inferno. Really, I like this card for hand clearing. A little bonus is when you have no cards in your hand, face-up Infernity monsters gain 400 attack and defense. But again, the greatest thing is you can send it to the graveyard and get rid of your entire hand. MST, Mystical Space Typhoon, is now at 2. This is good, but right now I'm just going with 1, seeing how that works. Monster Reborn, it's great that it's back, especially for this deck. It's limited to 1, and it's just great for bringing out Archfiend and anything else. Darkhold, I know a lot of people are, well, if you've seen the list, you probably aren't, but if you haven't seen the list yet, you're probably surprised, but Darkhold is back. And with this deck, it just works as a good way of clearing the field, and with the special summons this deck can do, it can send them to the graveyard and then they just come right back. I added Instant Fusion because I've come across Dark Balter the Terrible. Bring that out and synchro summon with any one of my Infernity tuners, and it should be able to make any card in my synchro deck, in my extra deck. Preferably 100 Eyes, but I also have Carbonala Warrior at level 4 and Flame Ghost at level 3 just in case. Swords of Revealing Light, great card just for blocking. Allure of Darkness, draw 2 cards, yada yada yada. I don't like that I have to remove from play one of my Infernities, but usually there's so many copies of cards in here that it's not a big waste. Zero Max is a free special summon, except you cannot have your battle phase. You can special summon 1 Infernity monster from your graveyard, so long as you have no cards in your hand. And it destroys all face-up monsters on the field with attack lower than the special summon monster's attack. The only problem again is you can't declare your battle phase, but using that on Infernity Doom, it's great. It'll probably clear the whole field. Just watch out for Stardust. Giant Trunade, Heavy Storm got banned, so I'm putting this in. It's definitely a lot better in this deck to destroy your opponent's cards than send them back to their hand, but I'm going to deal with it. Finally, Traps. 2 Infernity Breaks, no cards in your hand, you can remove from play 1 Infernity card that includes the Infernity monsters and the traps and the spells, and you can destroy 1 card your opponent controls. Infernity Inferno, discard up to 2 cards, and then you can send the same number of Infernity cards from your deck to the graveyard. That means I can send 2 beetles and send Mirage or something else. Real point of Inferno is, I guess, getting my Avengers in the graveyard and sending Archfiends to the graveyard. I don't really want anything else in there. 2 Ultimate Offerings. The deck kind of gets locked otherwise. You get stopped with you've already used up your normal summon. Flip out Ultimate Offering, and you can just pay the life points and keep on summoning regardless. Because of the whole paying thing, though, I put in Aegis of Gaia. Gives a 3,000 life points so long as you keep it on the field. Otherwise, you lose those 3,000 life points. So once you go under, you will lose immediately after losing Aegis of Gaia. But it is very helpful at times for just lasting those few turns later to make the win. Transmigration Prophecy, good for putting Mirage and 1 for 1 back in my deck. Then I can use it again. 7 Tools of the Bandit.